Let's pretend that didn't happen. No, but the other thing they've got is, since they really don't have any policy that they're running on, the only other thing they got is they got to run on, we're anti-trans people, anti-woke nonsense, right? And that's all they got. Thus brings us to Barbie. Barbie. So the Barbie movie comes out this week, and it looks funny, but Fox News is not happy about it. Christian conservatives are not happy about the Barbie movie, Lacey. So here we
Tudor
go.
Dixon is host of the Tudor Dixon podcast, and Peachy Keenan is the Federalist senior contributor and author of Domestic Extremists. I'm going to start with you, Peachy, because you wrote
A Practical Guide to Winning the Culture War by Peachy Keenan.
It's a great article about this in Revolver, and you say that this.
Oh my God!
Hold on! Just stop. You mean to tell me Barbie and pals are going to be the ones sitting here complaining to us about Barbie and pals?
Yeah.
Please tell me the irony of this is not lost on you.
No, it's not. It's not. At least the
Shut the front door.
Sorry, guys. At least the one girl wore pink. Right.
Barbie, Skipper, what's the other one's name? Midge or something? Isn't there a Midge? I don't know. I'm from the Barbie era, but I can't really remember their names other than Barbie and
Skipper was the niece, I think. Yeah, I can't remember.
Well, Skipper was like the teenage Barbie. I forget what the actual relationship was, but it was like the teenage Barbie.
Yeah.
And I thought there was one named like Midge with kind of brownish hair.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm making her name up.
I think you're making that up. I think that's... But anyway.
And therefore most insidious packaging of feminist cliches and trans grooming that you have ever seen. Tell us more.
Yeah. I have two daughters. I have a 7-year-old and a 14-year-old, and they've been talking about going to see Barbie for weeks now. They've seen the posters. They saw a trailer before the Spider-Man movie, and I didn't even know it wasn't like PG, but apparently it's PG-13. It's full of suggestive humor. And I found out last week, they somehow didn't let anyone know this with the marketing campaign, that one of Barbie's main 3 sidekicks is, surprise, surprise, a man. I mean, is nothing sacred? There aren't a lot of movies that appeal to little girls, and this was one of them, but now it's off the list. And I don't really know what they were thinking. They just gave Barbie the Bud Light treatment, which probably looks pretty stupid in retrospect.
Yeah, I mean, Tudor, it just, I don't get it. I mean, I have more Barbies than I can count in my house because of all my girls. Why won't they let our little girls have anything? It's not even profitable. I mean, Disney lost $900 million on the last 3 woke children.
So, okay, we got a couple things to unpack there.
On the last 3 woke children's yada yada. Oh my God, what is happening here?
Well, it's okay. So I guess one of the Barbies is a transgender woman. I didn't see it. I don't know. I don't.
I mean, I've seen that trailer a couple of times, and I actually found myself, I don't watch a lot of movies, to be honest with you, but I found myself being kind of interested in going to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it looks funny. I mean.
Well, and I grew up in a very Barbie era, where that was really a predominant sort of toy. And so me seeing the advertisement for this film, I thought it looked like it was being done in sort of a funny enough way and had a little bit of the nostalgia sort of laced into it that I thought it would be super fun to actually go to. But within that trailer, I mean, I wasn't looking for it, but the truth is I didn't particularly notice any actors that stood out as being trans to me. But even if they did, like, I'm so not centered around that. I don't have any reason where I care.
Yeah, do we care?
I don't care who the actor is, as long as they do a good job and they tell the story,
Well, here's my thing about it. I mean, and they're doing this whole, it's a feminist movie, which I think is a kind of an interesting thing, because Barbie is typically has been portrayed as anti-feminist because it gives women body issues. Because I think they factored it in. If Barbie were an actual person, she'd be 6 foot tall, and her measurements would be like 33, 18, 22, and she'd have size 3 feet.
Right, and let's
You're talking about a person who wouldn't be able to physically stand. I mean...
Yeah, Anna anatomically, she wouldn't really be able to balance to walk. She'd kind of topple herself over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But then it's like they're not anatomically correct. They're, and Ken's, totally ripped all the time. You never see like a Ken with a dad bod. Of course, that would be funny stuff.
I think Mattel, the Barbie people, sued them for it, and they had to change the title of the book and pull it off of shelves. I actually have the original book. It was called Adios Barbie.
Wow.
And it was this whole. There was this chapter about Barbies we would like to see.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, that's some pretty great stuff. People, if you're interested in the Barbie thing, check out that book. Try to find an actual copy of it still out in existence. It's worth it.
Oh, well, I just think it's funny. It's like they've got nothing to complain about, though. It's like it's a movie. And the girl's like, well, it's a PG-13 movie. I'm like, well, yeah, because the primary audience is gonna be men and women in their 30s and 40s, probably. Maybe their 20s. Barbie still sells, but it doesn't sell like it did in the 80s and 90s and the early 2000s when we were kids. And I think they're trying to revamp. I think Mattel's trying to revamp it. Plus, I think it's more of a nostalgic kind of movie. And I did see the preview, and yeah, there are some. I mean, if you look at the cast with Ryan Gosling, right? And then Margot Robbie was in it, and then I think Dua Lipa's in it, and then Kate McKinnon's in it, and Will Ferrell's in it. You're talking about more adult comedic kind of actors for the most part, right? So I got the impression that there's going to be some dirty jokes of this where there are a lot of innuendo, because there always is around Barbie, because she's kind of a sex symbol, right? You can't not address that.
I mean, you can't ignore it. You can, but it's always sort of weird when you ignore something like that. That's like so obvious,
right? Where there's just that elephant in the room. Because I think there's a joke where there's a point where Ken's dropping her off at home, and he's telling her, he's like, "How about if I stay the night?" And she's like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, because I'm your boyfriend." She's like, "Well, but why?" And he's like, "I really don't know." Because he doesn't have any of those parts, right? Ken doesn't have genitals. Neither does Barbie. So what are they really gonna do? Just hang out, I guess.
I don't know. Watch Netflix and chill. I don't know.
I don't know either.
In a very literal sense.
Yeah. Oh man. I mean, it looks funny to me, but we'll watch some more of this, because I think it's just you're hilarious too. Where it's like, you're right. We got 3 Barbies to bitch about Barbie. I mean, 3 girls that literally look like they're trying to be Barbie dolls.
Let's see how much hate mail I get
about this.
for,
Obviously, I haven't seen
comment.
the movie; it's not out yet. But in the preview, we see the one character come out, and she's holding the high heel, and she's holding the Birkenstock, and she says, "You have to make a choice. You can live in this pink utopia, or you have to go to the real world." And I thought it was funny, because I'm like, I kind of see like a biblical reference here, where the serpent is saying, "You can either choose
biblical
to know
reference."
And
she serpent? Are you kidding me?
And I thought, well, I'd like to see how it plays out, because from the perspective of a mom who has 4 girls and having watched many Barbie shows, I just sort of wonder, when she goes to the real world, is it really ugly? Because there are a lot of things that are really ugly that little girls need to understand. And I'm not saying that this is a good thing, but it might just show people that it is nice to have a man who dotes on you, and you have a career, and you raise your sisters, and you're a really strong woman. And perhaps the real world where men are not so great is not so great.
Oh wait, Jesus. Okay,
so wait, now this has turned into a thing where Barbie has to go to the place where men are not so great. What?
As opposed to where men are sort of secondary characters. Because in Barbie Land, Ken is a secondary character. He's not
right. In the world of Barbie, it's kind of female-centered, actually.
Yeah, Barbie has all the jobs. Ken doesn't really do much.
Ken kind of does whatever
Barbie does.
Fits into Barbie's world.
Right.
I don't want to say she's exactly dictating that, but like it's like centered around Barbie's world, and Ken just sort of fits into it,
yeah.
which is actually, pretty opposite a lot of our reality. A lot of times women are trying to fit themselves into kind of a male world, and so that's a Barbie thing that's
right.
You could argue might be dumping it on its head a little bit.
I just think it's funny because
regardless, Ken's not portrayed as. I mean, he's always portrayed sort of positively. Like you can like or not like him, but they don't portray him as being a jerk or anything.
They don't portray him as much of anything. He's just there.
Because he's not a focus.
Yeah, I think
the point being, he's not being portrayed as a tool or anything horrible.
No, well, I think that's how Ryan Gosling, from what I've seen from the previews, that's how he's playing him. I just go wherever Barbie goes. I don't really have any other motivation. Right. I just follow thing. Barbie. Yeah. But yep, I just think it's funny. I mean, that's Fox News too. That's what they've got going on. We're going to complain about the Barbie movie, and we're going to bring on a couple of Christian nationalists who look like Barbies to complain about Barbie. Oh man, it's good stuff.
Yeah, man,
it's good stuff.
I don't even know what to say about
that. The irony was totally lost. Plus, I love the they had to do the go woke go broke thing, and then she complained about Disney, which is weird because Barbie is Warner Brothers has picked up Barbie. Okay. But Warner Brothers, I think the reason they did it is because she mentioned Disney's suffering. Well, no, Disney's actually crushing it right now at the box office. Disney right now is beating everybody else, $3.4 billion at the box office this year. So
I think when she says that Disney is suffering, it's not really coming from numeric data as much as it is, anecdotally, it sounds like a lot of people are sort of complaining about the direction of Disney and what's going on, but it doesn't seem like that complaining from various people are translating into any financial loss.
Nope. So look at this. Disney's global take so far this year, is 3.9 times that of Paramount, 3.8 that of Warner Brothers, 3.1 that of Sony. I mean, they are freaking crushing it. The only person who's kept up is Universal, and Universal did a lot of that with the Super Mario Brothers movie. Right? So to sit there and say, well, Disney's suffering, they went to the go woke, go broke thing. No, Disney's fucking crushing it. Disney's doing great. This whole go woke, go broke thing is, you've got that all back asswards. But anyway, I'll probably go see the Barbie movie. I mean, it looks funny.
I honestly, and I rarely go to see movies, but I think I actually probably will go and see it. It was interesting enough to me when I saw the previews to be curious. So
yeah, I think it's worth going to see the matinee at the very least. But anyway, that's all they got on Fox News. Take credit for Biden stuff and complain about Barbie and trans people on Barbie. The trans thing, they are so stuck on that. We'll have to do some more.
I sat and watched that freaking trailer after hearing that a couple of times, and I think I was able to pick that up. I wasn't even sure if I was able to pick out who the trans actor was, and I was like, geez, you would have to be so ridiculously focused on this even to notice. And then why you care is beyond me, because even back in the day, it seemed like they were kind of trying to represent Barbie's friends as being, I mean, they were all really pretty and stuff, but being different types than her. It kind of seemed like that was at least like what they were aiming for, like people that were a little bit different. They weren't all like blonde-haired looking, Barbie was the blonde-haired one and everyone else looked a little different.
Right.
So a more modern take on that original idea doesn't seem out there to me.
No. Well, no, and I think it's, It's probably, you know, with the cast it has, how bad could it be?
Right. I mean, look at some of the actors that are in there.
Like I said, Will Ferrell's in it, Kate McKinnon's in it, Ryan Gosling, who, you know, I've seen him in movies where he's really funny. Like, I don't know if you ever saw it, was The Good Guys with him and Russell Crowe. He was really funny.
No.
He was really funny in that movie where he plays the sort of idiot private detective. He does a really good job. But yeah, I mean, I've seen him do stuff where he can be really funny, and I'm sure Margot Robbie can be kind of funny. I've seen her be funny before. So, I mean, honestly, I think there's a cast in there that's probably good enough that it's probably a pretty funny movie. And it's designed to be a comedy, probably more geared for young adults than adults.
Right. I mean, that's another thing. When they went off on this, like, this movie for our little girls comment that they made in that news report, I was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Who said it was geared toward little girls? When I watched that, I honestly believed, and when I say watched that, I mean just the clips because I haven't seen the movie.
Right.
But when I saw the trailer, I thought it was being geared toward our generation.
Right.
Because I'm not saying Barbie wasn't a thing before and after it, but Barbie was like a huge thing during our generation childhood. And my assumption was that I was their target audience and you were their target audience. And it was maybe family friendly enough being PG-13 to where you could elect to bring your kids to it and that would be fine. Like it could be like the whole family goes to the movie. But I thought the primary target was us.
Right. Well, and
not
that's
7-year-old kids.
Well, that was kind of their ad, which is if you love Barbie, if you hate Barbie, the movie's for you. Because we're gonna do a lot of Barbie stuff, but we're also gonna make fun of Barbie quite a bit.
I even thought
that was kind of the whole premise.
Guys like you know, I shouldn't make assumptions, but I'm gonna guess you played with less Barbies than me.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't have Barbies.
That being said, because of the generation you grew up in, you saw that movie, you saw the trailer to it, and immediately you thought it was a little funny, and you thought about all the girls and the Barbies and the whatever classmates and friends, and you know.
Right.
So even if you weren't the Barbie lover, if you're in a certain generation, you saw that you probably had some sort of reaction to it.
Yeah.
And so they're on the money. You love Barbie, you hate Barbie. There's something here for you.
Cool. Well, we've spent a lot of time on that, so let's move on real quick to